What is creatine? What does it do in your body? And should you be adding it to your wellness routine? Hello and welcome to Amanda Widener Wellness. My name is Amanda. I'm so excited to have you here. On this channel, we talk about all things weight loss, weight management, tools like GLP-1s, fitness, nutrition, and everything in between. Today, we're going to talk about creatine, what it is, what it does in your body, and should you be adding it to your routine. But before I get into all of that, I do have a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor or a healthcare provider. And while I am a personal trainer and group fitness instructor, I'm not your personal trainer or group fitness instructor. So please speak with your doctor and wellness team before making any changes to your diet, exercise, or medication regimen. Everything on this channel is based on my opinions and experiences. And if you haven't already, I would love for you to take a moment to like and subscribe to this channel. I truly appreciate your support as we grow this community. So let's talk about creatine. The Cleveland Clinic defines creatine as a natural source of energy that helps your skeletal muscles flex and helps create a steady supply of energy in your muscles so they can keep working, especially during exercise. So creatine is produced in your body naturally, and there's two ways your body can get it. Half of your body's supply of creatine comes from protein-rich foods, so things like red meats like beef and pork, seafood, animal milk like cow's milk and goat's milk. The other half of the creatine is produced and naturally found in your liver, kidneys, and pancreas. And then on top of that, we have these creatine supplements that we're seeing all over social media. All of the fitness influencers are pushing it. So we are seeing this additional influx of people taking creatine. And these creatine supplements can be found in different types of forms. They come in powders, tablets, capsules, liquids, and energy bars. Studies are showing that it's generally safe to take creatine for most people. However, there are some people who may not be good candidates for this supplement. So if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, if you have diabetes, if you have kidney disease or liver disease, you may not be a good match for this. So no matter what your health history is, before you start any type of supplement, absolutely speak with your healthcare provider to make sure that there's nothing in your current or your past health history that makes you not a good match for this. Also, if you have a history of mental health conditions, especially bipolar disorder, it's really important that you speak with your healthcare provider as well, as creatine has been shown to increase mania in those with bipolar. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are watching out for our long-term health before we start taking these types of supplements. People who take creatine with weightlifting and exercise can see an increase in muscle growth. And that's why this has really been taking off in the fitness space. People are seeing these big impacts in the way their muscles look and feel and how quickly they're developing and how quickly they're progressing. And so they're enjoying the side effects of taking this supplement. It's also been shown that in people 60 and older, there are some cognitive benefits to taking creatine. It's been shown to help with short-term memory, reasoning, as well as neuroprotection. So like protecting your neurocells from injury or damage. It's also being studied to see if creatine can help with the side effects of dementia. So, the memory and the quick development of that disease. I'm always interested in studies that have to do with dementia. I work with a lot of senior patients and participants. And so it's always exciting to hear that there are studies and strides that might help with the slowing the progression of that disease. So what happens when you take creatine? So creatine goes to your skeletal muscles, which then convert the creatine into a compound, and that's called phosphoric acid, which you might have heard of before. So this phosphocreatine then helps create ATP, and ATP is an energy source that our cells use as immediate fuel for muscle contraction and muscle processes during exercise, right? So we need ATP during exercise. It's how we're quickly making these adjustments in our body. And it's like that quick, immediate source of energy to make us move through these movements, okay? In addition to more energy and muscle growth, creatine is gonna help with speeding up your muscle recovery, which is another big thing that fitness influencers are really promoting this for. If you're looking to build your muscle quickly, you need them to recover quickly. You don't want to have 2-3 recovery days in between or more if you've been training really hard. You want to be able to recover those muscles quickly and then keep tearing down the muscle fibers and rebuilding them as quickly as possible so that your muscle growth can develop faster, right? It's also able to help with anabolic hormones. So there's some research out there that shows that things like insulin, HGH, estrogen, and testosterone are all being helped with the use of creatine. So if these are things that are a concern to you, that might be worth speaking to your healthcare provider about as well. It can also help to boost the water content in your muscle cells. So cell hydration may increase muscle growth and reduce muscle cramps. And when you're taking creatine, it's going to draw more water into your muscles. So it's helping with that muscle growth, and then it's helping with the reduction of muscle cramps, which can help you with your training process and getting through training faster. It also increases the amount of phosphocreatine in your brain, which helps with memory, which is why we're seeing those studies with those over age 60 and over. If you stop taking creatine, you might experience things like fatigue, a loss of your muscle mass, weight loss because you're losing a lot of that muscle mass, and then short-term decrease in your natural creatine production. So that actually is very short-term. Like your natural creatine production will reduce slightly because your body's become kind of reliant on the supplement. So that will slow down and then it will regulate later on. So one of the questions that I get a lot about creatine are what are the risks versus the benefits? So some of the risks of creatine are weight gain from water retention, right? It's drawing water into your muscles. Dizziness, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Those are all things that you might experience if you start taking the supplement, especially if you start taking high doses too quickly. Some of the benefits of creatine, however, are improved exercise performance. It's going to help with your recovery. You're going to increase your muscle mass, which many of us are looking for, especially if you're trying to fight off muscle mass loss from large amounts of weight loss. You also are going to have a higher tolerance to more intense actions. So if your body is working through movement and that sort of thing, and you're working through these intense movements, your body is going to tolerate just a little bit more because of the supplement. It also is going to reduce dehydration and cramping in your muscles. So it's drawing all that water in, reducing the dehydration, which is why a lot of times the muscles look bigger very quickly until you start to actually like get more intense workouts and recover faster, and the muscles do grow larger. It also helps to minimize the risks of strains and pulls. So potential injury risks are smaller when you're taking this supplement because of how it's working in your muscles. It's also been shown, and there's research going into this, that it may support muscle and bone health in postmenopausal women and as their estrogen declines, which is really exciting. I love seeing research on, peri and then postmenopausal women and the things that we're doing to improve their lives and their bodies, because a lot of times women do become a little bit more frail, bone density drops due to estrogen dropping as we age due to menopause. And if this can help with that, that might be a great option for you. So speak with your healthcare provider about that. So how much creatine should someone be taking? For the average adult, 3 to 5 grams per day is all you need. And it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to start to see the impacts of it. So don't expect to take some creatine supplements and by the end of the week, you're gonna notice bigger muscles. It's really gonna take you about a month to fully load that supplement into your system. The most efficient type of creatine is the powder. However, you're still gonna get the benefits of creatine any way that you take it. If you're looking for more cognitive benefits, the general guideline is usually around 10 to 15 grams per day. But again, this is something that you need to get dosing from your healthcare provider, not the back of the container and not from someone on the internet. So before we round out this video, let's do a little bit of myth busting about creatine. So creatine, one rumor that we have about it, creatine does not increase your body's fluid needs. You're not going to need to drink more. And it doesn't cause dehydration. In fact, it's pulling hydration into your muscles. So that's not going to lead to dehydration overall in your body. It's just bringing more hydration to your muscles versus having you release it from your body, right? So that's one myth busted. Another one is there's no evidence of having these creatine supplements causing kidney injury. That was a rumor that I've seen going around the internet. Oh, you shouldn't take creatine, it's going to injure your kidneys. There was a study a while ago that had some outlying results that showed maybe there was a correlation, but there was nothing significantly linking those two, and nothing they've done since has been able to link kidney disease and creatine supplement use. So talk to your doctor if you have a kidney disease and see what their opinions are on it. They may want to proceed with caution, but the Cleveland Clinic, Harvard Health, and the Rochester Medical Center all have articles talking about how there is no real link to this. It was just from one study that had a correlation. Another myth, a loading phase or cycling through the supplementation on and off is not necessary. So a lot of people are out, a lot of these fitness influencers are out there on the internet talking about how you need to cycle or you need to do a loading dose of this. It's simply not true. Your body is going to take the amount of the supplement that it needs, and it's going to not use the rest. So you can just start at the initial dosage that you and your healthcare provider decide, generally somewhere between 3 and 5 grams if you're a healthy adult looking for muscle growth, or a little bit more if you're looking for neuro benefits. So the goal of using creatine supplements is to have a consistent muscle saturation over through your muscles. So this is like a long-term thing, and there's no short-term solution to making sure that you have the right amount of creatine in your body. So just taking it consistently every day is going to lead to the benefits you're looking for. It takes a while for it to come into your system fully, right? That's that 3 to 4 weeks before you see the full benefit. And then if you're just consistent, it's going to stay there unless you come off of it. And then it will take a little bit of time for your body to remove that. That's when you'll see things like weight loss and that sort of thing. There's also no evidence that creatine causes hair loss. Now, this is another big one that I've seen on social media where people are talking about how, oh, don't take creatine supplements, especially if you're losing large amounts of weight. You're already losing hair, and now you're going to lose even more. And again, there's no studies that show that this is something that's definitely going to happen. I truly believe that this is something that's very similar to people who say you lose hair just by being on a GLP-1. And that there's no link between that either. Hair loss can happen when you lose significant amounts of weight because you've shocked your body by going into a very large calorie deficit. You're not getting all the nutrients you normally do, that sort of thing. So GLP-1 patients and bariatric surgery patients often struggle to eat enough calories in a day, and so they lose hair. But for someone like me who never had an issue eating on the medication, I never had hair loss during my entire journey. Even though I've lost 110 pounds in 15 months, my hair loss has never changed the rate that it was at because I was eating enough nutrients the whole time. And that's the same thing with being on creatine. If you are not losing large amounts of weight or putting on muscle too quickly and that sort of thing, you should not be seeing a change in the hair loss rate according to current studies. Could that change? Sure. Anything could change with future studies, but as of right now, that's the knowledge that we have on it. So yeah, that's kind of it about creatine. Should you be taking it? That's between you and your healthcare provider to decide. Do some research, look into it. Again, the most recommended type of creatine is going to be the powder, but if you're somebody that struggles to take a powder supplement, a pill or a capsule is going to be absolutely fine. It's going to give you some of those benefits. It's just not going to be like boom as impactful at first as taking the powder. But yeah, speak with your healthcare provider. See if you're a good match for it, whether you're looking for muscle growth or preventing muscle mass loss, or if you're looking for those cognitive benefits. It's definitely worth a conversation to see if it's a good fit for you. So that's it for me today. I hope that you found this video a little bit informative and helpful. If you did, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And again, if you haven't already, I would love for you to like and subscribe so that I can keep making videos just like this and connecting our community here on YouTube. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.